I'm here at the AUT campus in Tamaki Makaurau. I'm actually here for the New Zealand Podcasting Summit, which is on today. I'm one of the panelists that's popping up a little bit later in the day. But I'm here the day after they made the announcement that they're cutting the fees-free program. So it's kind of a fascinating place to be just after that. Oh my God, I've got a new tripod as well, and it's doing that weird face tracky thing, which I'm so not used to, and I apologize if it's disconcerting. I'll try and stay still for it. So I did some research last night and this morning around the fees-free program because, as you know, they moved it when this coalition got in. They went from first year to third year free because New Zealand First were like, fuck first years. But that meant that there's a bit of a gap year or gap group of students who are going to miss out on fees-free at all because, well, they started it and it was taken away and they expected to finish at the year that it's now been taken away, and that actually equates to about 35,000 students across the country. That's a huge number of people who are going to have to go into debt probably just to be able to complete their study. But I had a look at some of the other numbers that there's out there as well on just how successful it was to have it in the first year, because the numbers on the third year aren't really out there yet. We saw a 4.7% completion rate of total domestic increases. So basically, the number of people finishing university went up almost 5%. That's equatable to 114,500 students who finished their degree because they started it with fees free. We've got an 18% of increases for people under the age of 20, which directly matches that fees free target. So these are people who came in with fees free, huge increase in the number of people who went through and completed those degrees from where we were before this program was installed. When it comes to level 3 certification, we saw 27% increase in that, and that generally was through private education providers, not necessarily through places like your universities. But that doesn't mean that the universities didn't play their part, and 27, that's almost 30%. That's almost a third increase on the number of people who are getting foundational vocational entry points in their courses of study. And that's what we want. We want people who are qualified to go into high-paying, well-resourced work. We would if we had a government that understood how this actually worked. And then finally, PTE completions, that's private training establishments, they saw a 12% increase in actual completion rates from people who started off with that first year free. So we're talking about a shit ton of people who have had a benefit from this. But because the government is old or doesn't like young people, and they have a history of this, remember they made it harder for young people to vote, they decided to means test the benefit for people who are 18 and 19, they've done a whole bunch of terrible things to young people. This is just another thing to add to that list. They clearly don't give a shit about young people. But hey, young people, you can have a say about that as well. On the 25th of October, you need to be registered on the electoral roll to get out and vote in this year's election. If you're not registered by then, you don't get to vote. Again, it's another thing they've done which disproportionately impacts young people. To do that, you just go to vote.nz and you can check your enrolment details. There's a phone number on there if the website doesn't work. See if you can find manual forms. I have manual forms on me. If people want to hit me up if they see me out in public, I will do something to help you get on that roll. And if you're 17, you can pre-enroll, and as soon as you turn 18, you get to go back onto the roll, get joined to the roll, and you can go out and vote. We need as many people as possible to vote this year, because if you don't, they're going to keep screwing people over to give tax cuts to landlords and pay tobacco companies and waste money on things like no ferries and road cone hotlines. It doesn't seem like a good way of setting up the future for everybody, especially those who are out there trying to study to provide a better future for them, their families, and the country.